Hi, Anupama.
Hi, Africa. How are you?
I'm good. So nice to see you.
Same here. I hope I am audible and visible clearly.
Absolutely. So am I. Am I audible and visible?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
You look fabulous as you are.
Thank you. So do you.
No problem. We'll just give a minute for people to
Sure.
join. I see a lot of your, fans and friends are joining in. So let's wait for some time.
Yep.
So
And
otherwise,
it's
how
a
are you
weekend,
doing?
so probably people would also be, I guess, on the go outside.
Yeah. But I think I'm sure for all good things, people do take out time. So.
I hope so.
Absolutely. I'm sure. And otherwise, we're going to anyways put it on our wall so they can
Right,
always watch it later.
right. Yeah. That's what I told my friends who weren't able to, make it. So I said, you can
Yeah.
always watch it even later.
But live sessions have their own magic, isn't it? So, yeah, that's great.
Yeah. Hi, Sheetal. I
So
see Sheetal. She's someone I know. Yeah, she's saying hi.
I also see a couple of my friends joining in. So thank you, everyone to join, and we'll just begin shortly. So we are absolutely thrilled and super excited to have you, Anupama, on our show. You're going to be an asset to our listeners, and you're awe-inspiring. And I'm sure
Oh,
we'll have a lot of learnings at the end of the show. And you have done absolutely some of the amazing works, and I just can't wait that we discuss about it and learn and understand more from you. Many
thank you.
congratulations of you being an incredible author, entrepreneur, and a digital content creator and whatnot. All right. So
Thank
while you
you.
don't need any, while you actually don't need any introduction, your work speaks it for all. But for few of them who are trying to know more about you, let me quickly introduce that how wonderful you are and the kind of work you have done. So guys, Anupama is a multiple award winning blogger, author, serial entrepreneur with three ventures, socialpreneur, digital content creator, creative writer, mentor, choreographer, and a mother of a 7-year-old cute kid. She's a Karamveer Chakra Silver Awardee, which is a global civilian honor presented by International Confederation of NGOs in association with United Nations. She is Shiro's champion, as a part of which she motivates a community of 15 plus million women, and also an amazing Amazon influencer having her own storefront of recommendations on Amazon. She has been featured among the top bloggers and influencers on India on multiple media and top platforms like Official Humans of Hyderabad, Femina, The Better India, Women Web, Times of India Group, Youth Ki Awaaz, Your Story, and the list goes on and on. And if you're thinking that she has stopped herself there, no, you're mistaken. She's the only Indian who was nominated in the category of digital transformation by Global Digital Women, which is the Berlin-based international network of female digital pioneers at the Digital Women Leader Award 2020. Her work has been published on leading magazines, platforms, and newspapers. She has contributed to international literary journals, and her poems, blogs, fictional stories have been widely appreciated and very well received by one and all. Her blogs across various websites have garnered close to 30 million views, or maybe, and maybe going strong over till date. So many congratulations, Anupama, and it's great to have you in this fun-filled evening. So,
Thank you so much, Africa, for that lovely introduction. And it's my pleasure to be here with you today.
absolutely. I just can't wait to get started and to learn from you. As I said, you're absolutely very inspiring. And each one of you, each one of us, if we become, if we get inspired and do a little bit the kind of social work you're doing, I think we will be, we will do our bit being citizens. So it is not that you always have to be at a particular position or do something at a time. I think you can begin with what you have in your capacity. And I think that, even if you change life of one person or bring a smile on one's face, I think
Right.
you have made a difference and your life is full lived, isn't it? So before I go ahead, your much talked initiative BTB. Tell us about your initiative BTB. I think people must be curious to know about it.
Yeah. So beyond the box is definitely, I think, my favorite of all that I do because it involves children. So a little bit background of, how I actually started this because when I became a writer, at that point, I never really thought I'm going to be a creative writing mentor for kids. It just so happened it was summer vacation. This is like more than 5 years ago. So it was summer vacation time, and a lot of my friends, they were pushing me, saying that you are. By then, I had established myself somewhat as a writer, blogger. So they were like, "You're good at this, and we have so many classes that happen here for children, but none are for creative writing. The writing part of it. There's for everything else, say art or dance or sports." So, and they knew that I generally used to gel well with children. They knew that I enjoy being with children. So they were like, you also connect well with kids. So why not try and do something for our children? And I always used to tell them that, look, kids are not going to come for classes to study. If you tell them that you have to go and write. So I didn't listen much, but then there was a friend of mine who was pushing me a lot. So I thought, okay, let me just give this a try. So I started with a workshop. I thought, okay, let me do a workshop first and see how this goes. And it was a workshop which involved 25 kids. It was a 3-day summer workshop. And that summer workshop proved to be a life changing experience for me because, firstly, I realized then that this is something I really enjoy doing. Like I never really thought, but when I actually did it, it was so much fun. Kids also enjoyed a lot, contrary to what I was thinking. They because I tried to make the workshop fun, and I didn't want them to come and think that ye padhai hone wali hai jaake. But the other big thing which brought I would say a change in the way I was looking at things was I realized that there's a very big gap between what creative writing actually is and how it was approached, say, in schools. Because I realized that the kids, they were writing a lot to impress adults rather than writing for themselves to express. They were not looking inwards as much. And I, being a writer, I knew that creative writing is fun. It is about finding joy in that expression. It is about looking inwards. And when I felt that, yes, there is this gap between how academics approaches it for whatever reason, then I took it on myself. I thought, okay, let me give this environment to children where they can grow to their full potential without any fear of judgments. And that's how BTB started. I started taking regular classes to children. The idea was like, having a creative party. Even today, my students always say that Anupama Andi's classes are not classes, it's like a creative party. So it started like that. And through word of mouth, then I started getting invited to schools, corporates, communities. Things just kept growing, and Beyond the Box was started as a venture. The team size kept growing. We started doing lots more, and today we are a very strong community, a growing community. And I must say, in the last 2 years, we have grown really fast. So we do a lot of things for kids and now even adults. So whoever is watching, if you want to have some fun writing, just go and follow the Beyond the Box page. You will find loads of unique and one of its kind initiatives there to get those creative juices flowing.
Absolutely, Anupama. I have two small children. I know how difficult it is if I tell them theoretically to go through or write an essay or something.
Yes,
But when
yes.
that activity becomes so interesting, they themselves are self-motivated. And you rightly said that they need not be theoretical, they need not be that
Yeah.
mythological, what actually happens. They can be creative in their own mind. We say that the
Yes,
sky is pink, something like that. They want to paint in whichever color, they want to write in
exactly.
whichever way they want it. It may or may not be what actually happens, but that is what
Exactly.
innocence is. And I think you are beautifully bringing out innocence, of children, how beautifully you're grooming them. And this is absolutely wonderful. And many, many congratulations, Anupama, on that front.
Thank
So,
you. Thank you so much.
and there's a great way to go. And I think you're actually building a very creative future, the creative next generation, which was missing. People used to emphasize on maybe all other subjects, but this was something which is missing, which is very, very essential and stays with you towards till the end of the life. Maybe many of your
Yes,
students would eventually become writers, authors, or maybe part of some anthology or something, right? So I think that creative bent of mind, that kind of exercise of mind which you are doing, you are developing, are very important for children, are going to stay with them and going to help them all through their life and making a
yes,
beautiful
yes.
future. Thank you very much, Anupama. That's a great work on that front. So, on other note, as you said, in last 2 years you grew a lot and people got interested and you did. But having said this, what important lessons did you learn during COVID and pandemic, and how are you now implementing them in your initiatives?
That's a very interesting question, I'm Sabrika, because I'm sure the pandemic has made everybody look inwards, introspect,
Contemplate.
and all of us have learned a lot. I think in this
Absolutely.
whole phase, in fact, all of us probably have even learned different things depending on
Correct.
how it impacted us. For me, if you ask me, I think for me the biggest learning was that. In life, what is more important is adaptability and resilience more than anything else. And it's not that I did not know that earlier, but sometimes these things hit you more. And I won't say this is just as a person. I think even as an entrepreneur, I feel that this I realized was very important because when the pandemic started, before that BTB had not done much online. I was never a person who believed in it. I used to always say that when it comes to children, I need the personal touch, but there was no option. And at that point, we came up with a lot of creative ideas, and we tried to adapt things to the situation. And that's when it really hit me that we talk of so many things, that what quality should an entrepreneur have, and I feel now that above everything else, the biggest quality an entrepreneur should have is adaptability. We should be able to remold ourselves, reinvent ourselves. And I think that was a big learning for me. And I think, yes, even generally as humans also, we need to keep doing that because nothing is in our hands. In fact, I remember writing one post also on this, that how even now companies, they'll ask you, how do you see yourself 5 years, 10 years down the line? And I feel it's a very preposterous question. Yeah, I mean, just stop asking that, because COVID has proved that nobody can even predict like a few days,
Tomorrow.
later what's going to happen. So let's start asking people about the now, like what are their ideas now, what are they now, what are they today. So yeah, I think that has been a biggest learning.
Absolutely. You start valuing time. And as you said, you don't postpone your things for future. You act now, and well said that for any, and each one of us, we should have that agility, that adaptability and resilience. So wonderful, Anupama, knowing you and the kind of work you have done. I think we can, chat for hours and hours and not stop. However, we get an overwhelming response when we posted that we're going to go live. So I'm going to pick some of the audience questions,
Sure.
which they have posted. So Navneet Kaur wants to know about insights of all your
Oh,
books.
okay, my books. I must say that I when I started like writing, so of course I started with blogging, but then of course I am somebody who I enjoy creating stories. So there was this story which was on my head, and I was just thinking, okay, sometime I'm going to write it. And at that time, coincidentally, there was the Amazon pen to publish contest which happened. So I thought, okay, why not just write that book? So because as a part of that contest, basically that book would be available on Kindle as an ebook. So that's how I wrote my first novella, Arohi. And when I submitted it, I didn't really look at it as my debut novella, but the response I received, because it was written a bit, I won't say casually, but I didn't have that in mind that, oh, this is like my debut. It was more, I was thinking, okay, this is for that contest. Then it hit me, when it went live and everybody congratulating. And I must say, I am overwhelmed that even today, Arohi gets read. Even today, I keep getting reviews on Amazon and Goodreads for it. So yes, that was my first, short novella which I wrote. After that, I have contributed to different anthologies. So there's a poetry anthology. Then I've contributed to short story anthologies, and of course, at BTB also, we have come up with a lot of books, which, of course, I mean, I have curated and edited, but they've been written by children. Right now, if you talk of me as my independent project, I'm working on two books. One is a children's book, which is like, a chapter book for kids. And one is, of course, my own anthology of short stories. And I hope I can complete it in a few months, because it's been around for a while. So much has been happening. COVID happened. Then with a small kid at home, it's a little difficult, to get that groove. But I hope I'm able to do it very soon, because, the way I write, I like to just completely get, enveloped by that story, just कहते हैं ना, मैं एकदम घुस जाती हूँ उसमें. So for that to happen, I need that kind of mind space. So I guess when my daughter starts school, maybe I'll be able to, get to completing it.
All of us, we need that, focused time to write something of
Yeah,
that stature
exactly.
and of that quality.
Yes,
So
yes.
absolutely, we are also eagerly waiting for your Goodreads. Yeah. So the next question is from Shaini Saini. She
Okay.
asked, she wants to know who's your biggest inspiration and why.
Mm. You know, as cliched as it may sound, I think, see, life is an inspiration in itself. So much keeps happening around us. And, I think there's an inspiring story in everybody in some way. Like, I believe in taking inspiration from just everything around me, not just humans. There's inspiration in nature also. There's inspiration in just everything around us. So, and there's inspiration in our own selves. I was just telling this to somebody a few days back that I even take inspiration from my own journey, because sometimes when you're low and you look back and you feel that, okay, I have done this before and definitely I can do it again. So yeah, I think my inspiration just comes from everywhere around and everywhere inside.
Absolutely, absolutely. If you look around, I think that'll inspire, and at least they'll show that what all people are undergoing, the kind of sufferings or maybe happiness, whatever, and how they react and how
Right,
they
right.
fight back, and resilience and all that. Absolutely. So I think the inspiration is life itself, correct? And your life is inspiring for us. So imagine. Okay. So Jasmine Kaur wants to know tips on multitasking. How do you do that? Because we
Oh
all
God.
heard that you're doing so many
This is
things, and
something I get asked by everyone, even when I meet my friends, like after years, that's the first thing they ask me that, how are you doing so many things? And honestly, I really don't know, because I don't think I'm doing it very well, because you have to come and see my home. It's in a mess half the time. But yeah, jokes apart, I think, see, for me, I guess there are just two things. There are no really secrets. There are just two things to multitasking. First is prioritization and sticking by it. I think that is something we have to be very clear about, that all of us have just 24 hours in a day. It is on us on what really we want to, do with those 24 hours. And that will only come when you have your priorities clear, that, okay, like for me, maybe cooking may not be that much of a priority. I would rather have a cook, but, I may want to do something else. For somebody, it could be cooking, so because all of us are different as people. So whatever it is, your priority, if once you're clear, you will be happy with the things you're doing in those 24 hours. So yeah, I think multitasking, it may look like that, but eventually I'm prioritizing and doing the things I love. And like, for example, I don't really get time to watch much of TV, movies, and I tell people, see, that's something I'm letting go of, because somewhere it's not featuring in my list of priorities. But if it is in somebody's list of priorities, it's absolutely okay. That's everybody's prerogative. So yeah, I mean, that's how, that is one thing. Secondly, I feel that, time management is also about being in the now. Like, I feel that a lot of times we get more panic just by thinking कि आज इतनी चीजें करनी है. तो I keep telling people कि अभी वो 2 घंटे बाद क्या करना है वो तब देखा जाएगा. अभी मुझे क्या करना है. Like for example, now I am doing this live with you, so I am not really thinking of the 100 other things I have to do later. वो तब का तब देखा जाएगा बाद में. So I think बहुत बार क्या होता है ना, people are into that mode that, oh my God, I have 100 things to do, and they lose that focus in the now. So I think, yeah, these are the two things which, if you can take care of, I think multitasking does become relatively easier.
absolutely, Anupama, you rightly said that little bit you being proactive and a little bit planning, but then obviously prioritizing your work is the key. And second, which you really said, which is very important, and all of us across ages should practice this. Essentially, is to be in the now, as in the power of now. What is
Yeah,
happening now. I've seen people not enjoying the moment and thinking what will happen after. So
that's what exactly.
exactly what you said. So let's be in that moment, and if at all there are risks, or all those things, we can always cross the bridge when it will come. Something like that.
Yeah.
So just contemplating or just thinking, overthinking, it's only going to spoil the present. So you absolutely nailed it, saying that the power of now, and enjoying now, like I'm enjoying the most right now with being with you. So so another question by Tanya Kaur. She says, how many awards have you won? So I think this will take you another hour to answer, but if you can quickly do that.
Oh God. So my daughter, there was a time when she used to keep this count, and yeah, so okay, the last count was, I think, at 30, around 30. So yeah.
Lovely.
Oh God, this is
Lovely.
a little embarrassing,
Absolutely.
but yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Wishing you many, many more. And maybe by our next interview, it's 300, and
Oh
the
my
kind of
God.
love you and
There
as
will be
I'm
no
saying,
space in my home.
no problem. But that's what I'm saying. The kind of love and appreciation you get for your work itself is so much rewarding that, getting a
Actually, and
memento
I was
or
just
this
about to
is
say that, that I think for me, as long as I'm getting that, I'm just very happy, more than the awards or anything else. I guess this connection with people and the love that I get, I think that is to die for
I,
me.
and trust me, Anupama, I have seen, children getting so happy, and I've closely, seen that, and that is purest form of love and purest form of reward, if I can
Yeah,
say,
it
because
is.
children
It is.
don't need anything. You have genuinely made those complex subjects so interesting and easy for them that, they look forward. Otherwise, children are the ones who run away from, as soon as we
Yeah,
tell them. So
I
it
know.
is
I know.
your magic, it is your, dedication of making that subject so interesting that people leave everything, children leave everything. So I think love for you, the respect for you is rewarding, and wishing you many many more. um, Amrit Pal Kaur has a question. She says, what's motto in your life, and your motto in life?
I am probably not the right person to ask about these things because I am not, I don't think too much about motto and all. But yes, there is one of my own quotation which I generally quote a lot of times, that, I focus on what next instead of what if. That helps me a lot, that I don't think too much. So I don't focus on, the what ifs, that what if this happens. It's always about what next. Okay, right now I'm doing, so I am more, you can say, action goal focused. That's the only thing I follow when it comes to my work and in general, when it comes to life. And I think, yeah, that's helping me pretty much so far to, have that focus and keep going ahead grounded. I think staying grounded is very, very important because, of course, I want to, grow as a person. Other than that, I'm not a very big moto person. Like I said, I mean, I feel that, just chill, yeah, theek hai. I mean, we learn a lot of things along the way and it's okay.
Absolutely, absolutely. And staying grounded, I think, is the key. Then only we can keep growing. Because the day we think that
Exactly.
we've achieved and, that's the end, I think perhaps we'll stop growing. So
Obviously, because then
wonderfully.
you become complacent, right? Like, oh, I have achieved. So, yeah, I would never, I mean, I hope I never get to that stage when, that's why I always, that's why I don't take my awards also so seriously. Like, of course, I am very grateful
Feel
and
happy.
I feel
Yeah.
happy, but I don't brat much over them. Like, okay, and I have to move on, right? Then to the actual work, which gives me happiness.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, that's
And
it.
that consistency needs to be maintained. It's not like that
Yeah,
one award and you are done. You keep
right,
doing, and
right.
you are doing all this amazing and good work not to get an award. It is just in the process coming in, isn't it? So your goal has always been to grow yourself, and
Exactly,
maybe,
exactly.
and this is all organically happening. Wonderful. So another question which multiple fans or followers of you have asked, Mehak Deep Kaur, Amar's beautiful brain, it's Amit V. They're all asking that how does one grows following organically on Instagram? How to get more views on blog or your post, and what are the tips for the new bloggers? So they
Right.
all are keen to know that.
Yeah, I think this is something again I get a lot. Obviously, when somebody is new to blogging, they would definitely want to know about it. So, of course, see, I think I can actually take a whole class on this, and in fact, I do take blogging workshops also. But if I have to just put it very, like in short for now, I think the key to anything, whether it's blogging, like proper writing, blogging, or Instagram content, is firstly be very clear about why are you doing this, because that is the biggest um, uh, thing that's going to give you a certain vision and a certain structure to how you want to go about it. Like the reason for becoming an Instagram content creator shouldn't be that everybody is doing these days, and I'll become popular. I mean, those are like really wrong reasons to do it. So yes, first answer that question, that why am I doing this, and that will definitely lead you to take better decisions. Apart from that, being consistent at the beginning is very important. Have a certain schedule if possible. Like say, I'm posting on Mondays and Thursdays, this kind of content on maybe Monday. Be a little planned. It helps a lot big at the beginning, especially, in the initial years of your career. Later, of course, once you have an established following, it doesn't matter much. But yeah, at the beginning, it's very important to stay consistent, maintain the schedule, and be a little creative. I feel that is something I feel is a little bit missing these days. I feel because there are so many maybe content creators. When we started, it was a little different, more than 6 years ago. um I know it is good to follow the trends, but if you see, there are some, if I talk of Instagram, for example, there are some fantastic content creators who know how to make a trend their own. They add their own creativity there. It is, I can give examples of content creators like Ma of all blogs, Namrata Sadhwani. There are some great Instagram influencers. They make things fun. They make things very honest. So, be that. I mean, don't always just jump on the bandwagon. Any content anywhere, be it a blog or Instagram, is about bringing out your creativity. So first build the content. Don't worry too much about the numbers at the beginning, because that's disastrous. It takes time. It takes a lot of time. See, we've been in this for years to get a certain readership. So just have patience and keep going.
Absolutely. I think the content will speak on their own, and you just need to be honest and consistent. And you rightly said that we should know that, why we are doing, so that we can align our actions accordingly. So
Exactly.
what do we want to promote? What do we exactly want to do? And in that direction, perhaps we'll have our subsequent videos and posts and reels. Fantastic, Anupama. One last audience question I'll take, which says that Angel Neha in Sweetcore has asked, advice on self doubts. How do you face rejections?
That's a very interesting question, because, but let me tell you one thing, that self doubts in a writer are very normal. In fact, we always keep joking that, self doubt and writers, they are like the, best of friends. It is a very common quality. And I mean, even today, after say years of writing and achieving a certain level of readership and success in this field, I still have those moments of self doubt, because we are all growing, we are learning. It's a very creative thing, right? It's art. So self doubts will be there. So as long as the self doubts aren't really hampering your creativity, it is okay. Let it be there. There's a good part of it which is fine. But yes, if you feel it is kind of hampering the way your ideas are coming out or your thoughts are coming out, then definitely we need to work on it. I would say a couple of things help. First is for self doubt, especially. Have build a very positive community. In my case, it really helped to have friends from the writing community, even otherwise, who really encourage. I think this community is a great way to actually handle your own self doubts. Like a lot of times, we may not be sure of, okay, have I really written well? And then there'll be a community to encourage you. So that is one thing. Secondly, you allow yourself to make mistakes, so you will not worry too much about the self doubts, right? Because you know that it's possible that I may go wrong, but it is okay. You don't have to be like perfect at the first try, because writing is an art of growing, and it takes a lot of time to learn to, go forward in that, right? So, yeah, I mean, I would just say that those are the ways to handle. And rejections, well, the best way to handle rejection is not to take it personally, because no one is rejecting you as a person. They're rejecting a written piece, and it is absolutely okay. I think, there's I don't remember who said this, but there was a writer who said that you should actually aim for 100 rejections. Otherwise, how are you going to really experience that joy of growing as a writer? I mean, just imagine if every time you're just going to get accepted, it's actually going to, maybe stall your growth also beyond a
Fault,
point.
yeah.
So, yeah, so that's what I mean. I would say these are the best way to, handle these things. And just, I mean, I think just go with the flow. That's really important. This vulnerability, right, about being a writer, it's actually a very beautiful thing. So if we don't allow it to consume ourselves, it's actually good. It will help us become better with time.
Absolutely. So being positive and not to take things personally, but take it, the feedback, even if it is not in your favor, in a constructive manner, I think will help us evolve and grow. So well said, Anupama. It's a great way to, face rejections. And no matter how successful and at what stage we are, we do
Yeah,
often go through rejection. We are not always accepted. And it is practically
correct,
impossible even to assume or think that it will happen. We cannot be, people will not be pleased here, all of them, right? So there will
correct,
be critics, there'll be people who would disagree, there'll be disagreement. But you rightly said that
exactly.
even if they are criticizing or not liking, is some of your work. It's not you, right? And maybe it's
Yeah.
for your good.
And
So, so, so
this is one thing I always say, that writers have to develop a thick skin. There is no other way out. You have to develop a thick skin, because the profession is like that. So it's okay. Just develop the thick skin, and just go on. You just keep always this in mind, that why am I doing this? Just go with that thought ahead.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, Nova, it is great interacting with you, but we're not going to leave you so soon. I know your time is precious, but a quick rapid fire before we really wrap up, and you just have to
Yeah.
answer in a word and a line, and not have to think much, right? Not
Oh my
beyond the
God.
box, right?
Am I getting a hamper too?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Soon, soon, a virtual hamper, e-hamper. Yeah. So, what angers you and what gives you hope?
Okay, what angers me? Two things actually anger me. One is disrespect, in general, disrespecting any human. And the second thing which angers me is bad attitude towards work. Being unprofessional really puts me off. And sorry, what was the second part of the question?
What gives you hope?
Children give me hope.
Absolutely. Two things you would like to change about yourself or wish people know about you.
Change about myself, I don't really think of it that way because I know I'll keep changing as and when, it's very natural, but still one I would say is, I wish I could change my sleeping cycle a bit because it's quite random at the moment. Everybody keeps asking me, you're awake at like really odd hours and all. So yeah, I've been trying to stabilize it, but it just doesn't work out. The second thing which maybe I would like to change about myself, maybe I think that I need to learn to say no a little more. I mean, I'm trying to learn it these days, but it's something that I've always struggled with, saying no. Hopefully, I'll be able to learn doing it better because I think this is a very important skill to learn. So, yeah, I just hope I can.
Absolutely. And sometimes when you think that it is not correct, it's better we speak up and say, we just
Yeah,
can't
yeah,
do it.
yeah. So, I'm learning that to get there.
Uh, if you could tell your younger writing self anything, what it would be?
Oh, the younger writing self, the first thing I'm going to say is, don't write to impress anybody because I remember at that age I had that lot in mind. I used to write as a child, of course, that's when I had developed the love for writing. But that time I remember I always had this in mind that I have to impress the teachers and but now I realize that that was not really something. I mean, maybe I would have written more if I was not thinking so much about that. So yeah, I would say that.
Absolutely, we just have to, for our listeners also, we just have to write by
Yeah,
heart
I mean,
and,
I wish I had a mentor like myself that time who could, give me that thing that yeah, just
correct.
write away anything you want. So
Absolutely. And unbiased, and an
yeah,
unbiased write up, and, without thinking or being
yeah,
apprehensive
like
about
without
anything.
any inhibitions, like just go
Yeah.
at it.
Just
Yeah.
be real. Correct. Correct. Absolutely. So, do you Google yourself? If yes, why?
Honestly, I don't because I mean, I know now wherever all my interviews are there, but my daughter does at times. She'll come and just show me on the phone. It's not that I've never done it, but I think it's been a while, a long while. And why I did it, maybe just to see what comes up when I type my name. That's it, but nothing more to it. I mean, because most of the things which come up, I know, but sometimes you come to know things which you were not aware of. Like, a couple of times it has happened that I realized, oh, this feature was done on me and I didn't know, so that surprise has sprung up. So maybe that's the only advantage that, sometimes you get to know where maybe you're featured somewhere or mentioned somewhere which you may not know otherwise.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, describe yourself in 3 words.
Difficult for a writer because, we for anything we always want to explain so much. But since it's just 3 words, maybe I'll use the 3 C's: creative, crazy, and compassionate, maybe.
I'll add one more C, cute.
Oh my God. And I don't get called cute often, so I'll take that compliment happily.
No, no, no. With children you are, and as in the kind of love they shower on you says it all. So cuteness in your work, the kind of the love you give them, I think it's absolutely awesome. The kind of respect you get, and all your initiatives are received so well. So I just want to thank you for taking out time this Saturday evening. Your journey has been inspiring. You are very inspiring, And God bless you all with all the happiness. And thank you to our listeners as well. And I'm sure many
Thank
of us have, already got inspired to maybe pick up a piece
you.
of paper and start writing something. And that is what you just need to be honest in whatever you do. And, I'm just going to reiterate what your original quote, which you say that don't emphasize on what if, but think of what next. Basically, don't stick yourself or don't bang your head with a problem. Try to find a solution. And I'm sure if there is a problem, there will be a solution, isn't it?
Yes,
So,
absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
And thank you,
So,
everybody. I see some people, Shweta, I see Shweta is here. Thank you for joining, Shweta, and for the kind words. And everybody else also who joined and who will be watching this later also. Thank you so much for taking out time.
a final message to our listeners, Anupama, if you would just have to say some parting
um,
words.
I always say that it's not in my place really to give advices and all. I'm not that kind of a person generally. I feel that people know a lot already, and I am also yet to evolve and learn a lot. But maybe I always tell that if there's one thing you really want to get inspired from my journey is that look inwards. I think my whole journey has been a lot about doing that from the time I resigned from my corporate job to pursue my passions to everything else that I've done. uh, I do a lot of contemplation, and I think in our fast-paced lives we miss all that, right? Like we are so busy just going on. So, and I feel that it really helps to sometimes take a pause and take stock of things and see, okay, where am I going, and do I really want to go there? So that's probably the best message I can give from my own journey. That from time to time, please uh, pause, ponder, and just look within to see how close you are to yourself. And if not, because I think we all take that journey slowly, so then yeah, see what probably you need to do to get closer.
Absolutely, absolutely. Wonderful. We should take a pause and we should not take things for granted. And, we should contemplate that what we are going. We all are running. We all are running, but, we should, stop sometime and just think that which direction we are running and why are we running? Is it actually needed or not? Isn't
Right,
that?
right.
So, with that note, Anupama, it was great interacting with you. Have a great evening ahead. Thank you very much and take care. Bye
Thank
bye.
you. Yeah, you too. Bye bye. Thank you.